Hello everybody, my name's Tom and thanks for taking time out to view this video. Today I'm going to start a series on NodeCanvas, which is a asset from the Unity store. I'm actually using it in a video game that I'm working on called Last Stand, which is a zombie defender type game. I'm using it mostly to act as a high-level manager for the zombie AI. When I first started looking for tutorials on NodeCanvas, I really didn't find too much out there. I did stumble on a channel called Mike Inspired, which had several tutorials on NodeCanvas, but unfortunately they were a little outdated and Mike had no intentions on updating the content. I've always wanted to start creating video tutorials, so I figured this would be a good opportunity for me to get started with that and hopefully also help some folks out along the way. So I'm gonna pretty much, at least for the first couple of videos, mimic what Mike did and just kind of update it with most recent version of NodeCanvas and also add a couple things that I have picked up. So this first video will be a simple Hello World tutorial, and then we'll build on from there. So the first thing you want to do is come over into the hierarchy, right click and select 3D object and select plane. This will be the floor that our character will eventually run around on. And here I'm just creating the scale. The next thing we want to do is make sure it's static. So come over here and select that checkbox. Then you can click on the navigation tab and select bake. That'll create your navigation mesh that your character or Nav Mesh Agent will use. Then select inspector. And next we want to create the cube that's going to represent our 3D character. Here we want to make sure that the character is just above the plane. So if you hold down Control and click on this yellow arrow, it'll move up in steps and you can place that cube just above the plane. The next thing we want to do is add a Nav Mesh Agent. And then we also want to enter a behavior tree owner. So if you type in BE, you'll see that it comes up. Select that, and you'll notice that two items were added, a behavior tree owner and a Blackboard script. So we're going to cover these in more details, but a Blackboard is just a container to hold variables that your behavior tree will use. And the next thing we want to do is create our graph. So click on Create New. And there's two types of graphs, a bound or asset graph. We're going to click on bound. And here you'll notice that a window popped up that just is essentially a welcome window that has links to documentation, resource, support, community, and a checkbox for show on startup. I just usually leave it the way it is and then close it down. The next window is our canvas. And what I like to do is to dock it right to this little window over here. This is kind of what will allow us to create our trees. So the first thing you want to do is right click and select action. And you'll notice here that we have our start node. And if you select that and click on assign action, this will bring up a list of items. And we're going to type in debug. And you'll see that there's 3 items here, and select this last one, debug log. And you'll notice that debug log was added to this start node. And if you come over here and click play, and you'll notice here that now the character is displaying Hello World in the front. And I think that's going to be it for this tutorial. Please check out the channel for the rest of this series.